Good evening. Good evening. Tom Ginn, Elevate Your Profits. Welcome, welcome. I'm bringing on my co-host right now, Mark Gassert, and we'll be introducing our guest tonight here in a moment. Good evening,
Hey,
Mark.
what's up, Tom? What's going on this magnificent Monday?
It is a magnificent day, and I'm really excited today for a number of reasons. Mark, is that number one, this is our third broadcast of Elevate the Profits. And this whole program, what we're doing is just to help people better understand if they're in business or aspiring to be in business, new cutting edge, different ways to look at how to create different streams of income,
Right.
building financial security. So that's the premise we're doing. So Mark, go ahead and just elaborate a little bit if you like, and then we'll introduce our guest.
Well, I'm really excited because now we're going to get an opportunity to hear firsthand from someone that's been out there making it happen. And essentially, Tom, why you want to get involved in something like this. And I can't wait to hear Mike's story. It's very knowledgeable. And, like I said, he's got an A+ over the top business acumen as far as when it comes to traditional business. And now what we're going to talk about tonight and what this whole concept's about, because there are some myths, as you and I both know. And I can't wait to hear what he's going to throw at us. And I can't wait to see what these questions are going to come forth, the people that join us this evening.
Well, let's get this going, and I'm really excited to introduce Mike Lantz. Before I get into that, I just want to share with the audience our relationship. Mark and I are both part of the company we're going to be talking about tonight, and me being a financial coach, I was introduced to this company nearly almost 3 years ago now, but I really took a good hard look at it this last April, a year ago, this coming April. Made so much sense in the beginning, even when I saw it. But today people are struggling financially more than ever. And when I saw what you're going to share tonight, how it helps people with money, I made a real strong decision to help come on board and promote the solutions out there to win. So Mike is, I've known since April, I consider as a friend, but a mentor, a business colleague, and he brings a lot to the table. So tonight, I just want to introduce Mike Lantz.
You bet, Tom. Well, thanks for having me on tonight. Mark, always a pleasure too as well. Getting to know both of you.
Right.
And it's an honor just to be pulled onto your show and to be able to share my experience with in business and in particularly this business. And my wife Karen and I actually were very, very busy when we took a look at this 21 years ago. I was a CPA and financial planner, and I'd been in that career for over 20 years. And my wife's an interior designer. Not only did she have a large interior design business and studio, she owned the largest interior design fabric store in the state of Iowa at that time. On top of it, I owned 4 pizza restaurants with my best friend from high school. So we were busy. Wow. And, I really believed in giving back. So, I mean, my passion was coaching and I coached kids in basketball and baseball. And then I served on a couple boards. So just busy. And I just want to kind of share my background and how I got to Team National, how I got to this business. Early on in my career, I had a good friend from high school right after I started my career in public accounting approached me with a company in the network marketing industry. A lot of people have probably heard of Amway. And, we tried real hard with that company for about a year and a half, my wife and I did. And our best month was $35. Whoopee. Okay. So, we just decided this wasn't for us, dove into our careers. And we were doing very, very, very well in our careers. But about 7 years into my career, I broke away from Deloitte. And that's where I was working at one of the big six firms, and started my own practice. And I remember from that experience what network marketing really means, guys. It's really pretty simple. Network marketing means word of mouth, incentivized word of mouth referral. So I figured, all right, I can use that concept to build my CPA practice. So I incentivized my clients to go out and refer me. Every time they referred me, a card went in their folder. So I remembered to take $20 off their tax return that year, but also a card went into a fishbowl. And every year at Christmas, I let my staff draw one name out of that fishbowl, and we gave away, we'd call them at our Christmas party, which was always fun, our client, and let them know they won. And they won a trip. We'd give away a trip like Aruba, Jamaica, Bahamas, somewhere nice in the winter to get out of Iowa. Okay. The only requirement we made was that they had to bring pictures back so that I could put them in a photo album in my lobby. And guys, I'd have people refer me 8 to 10 times a year just because of that. Okay. Wow. So that's really as simple as it is. And I kept diving in. What happened is, because of my experience in the industry, I picked up some of the top money earners in the state of Iowa were clients of mine in various companies, from Melaleuca to Manatech to Avon to Tupperware to actually Longaberger Baskets. One of my best clients was a Longaberger Basket district manager. Okay. And so I'd done a lot of work in the industry, wasn't afraid of it. And I kept looking. Clients kept bringing me, guys, it kind of got funny towards the end of my career. People would ask me to go take a look at businesses, and I knew what they were wanting. They wanted to know if I wanted to do it. Okay. So I would actually say, yeah, I'm willing to go, but I'm going to charge you my hourly rate, and then I'm going to write up a report on it for you. So I would actually go in and then sit down and write up reports. And there were some key questions. And Tom and Mark, you probably never heard me talk about this before. No. This is fresh to you too. Okay. Is that I had several questions I'd ask. And the first one was a real simple question. And it's what kept me out of the industry for 20 years. Okay. And that is, would you buy the product or service, even if there was no money-making opportunity attached to it? And see, all these other companies that clients brought to me were selling a product and you had to spend $100, $200, $300 a month on their products or services in order for you to stay bonus qualified. And what I had seen over my career is a lot of people got excited about that, but 5 to 6 months into it, if they weren't making any money, okay, most of them quit, and the bottom was always falling out. It's like filling a bucket full of water, okay, but there's a hole in the bottom. And again, I hadn't seen one person in my 20 plus years of careers doing tax returns build a strong 5-figure, 6-figure income with that model and then maintain it for 5 years. Even my Longaberger Basket rep that was making over 600,000 had it fall out from underneath her. Okay. Wow. So I was very, very skeptical. But what I saw here, I got to tell you, halfway through the video, when I saw there was no product, this company had no monthly spend. There was nothing I was required to spend money on. There was no money. There was nothing I had to convince my friends to spend money on a monthly basis. It's just when we needed something, we could use the membership, the buying power of this group to drive the prices down on those things that we were going to buy anyway. And for the most part, the same products that I was going to buy anyway. And that to me made sense. As a matter of fact, it made so much sense that I got up out of the chair halfway through the video before I even saw the marketing and the money-making side of the business and started writing names down of people that I knew were going to be interested in taking a look at it. So that was the number one question, one of the first questions I always made my clients ask. The second question that I always asked is, how long has it been around? This is the myth. One of the myths that I want to make sure people understand. A lot of people think you want to get involved in a company early on. That's where people make all the money. No. Okay. There are about 1,000 companies that start up every year in the network marketing industry. You know how many of them make it past the 5-year benchmark?
No. How many?
How many?
Two. Not 2%. Two.
Two.
Okay. So why would you want to get involved in something that's that risky up front? So that's why when I looked at this, it had been around for 5 years under previous owner and 2 years. So 7 years actually by the time I looked at it. Okay. So it passed that test. And see, guys, if something's going to be good, it'll be good in 5 years, but you won't have that risk of that ratio that's out there. Okay. And so it passed that test for me. Okay. As well. And then the other one is the third question that I think was just as important, and that is it a member of the Direct Selling Association? The DSA is the watchdog out there, and they actually are there to protect the consumer and the companies, both, from illegitimate companies. And not only are we a member of the DSA, our president CEO, Angela Lore Chrysler, serves on the board of directors of the DSA, one of the most respected women in network marketing, in the network marketing industry. So, and she even served on the ethics board for 2 years as well. So she's pretty powerful. And then the last one is, what kind of support are you going to get? And that's what I loved about this. It was just, and you're going to, if you take a look at it, it's built into their marketing program, and something called the hosting bonus, okay, which I'd never seen in this industry. And that is, every time you bring somebody in, every time they make a check, and it can be as often as $1,500 a week or more, the person gets $1,000. So that the way I turned it around and I looked at it is, every time I make a check, my host is going to get a hosting bonus of $1,000. How often do you think they're going to want me to get one?
Every week.
As often as possible. Yeah. And so there was a built-in support system, plus the way it was structured. There was, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but there was an incentive for everybody up above to because they build in depth, not width. Okay. And a good explanation of that, guys, is I've seen a lot of companies that you call frontline companies, where every time you bring somebody in, you're starting a new leg of business, right? And the problem with that's what I was in an Amway. And what happened is, then every night I was working with this person over here, but I'm not helping the rest of them, right? So it became a full-time business, okay? Really tough. But just imagine if you had seven teams dangling down here. If you swung that arm down, all you have to do now is work with the person clear at the bottom, and you're working and helping all the others in between. That's when I saw that the first night, and I saw the marketing plan, I had a hard time sleeping that first night. I saw something not only that made sense, that it wasn't going to cost me to become a member in, it was going to save me a ton of money. And I've saved over $80,000 using our benefit side of the business. And it's ranged from credit card processing, long distance cell phone bills, car and homeowners insurance, to vehicles. Guys, I've saved more than what it cost me to join, just in printer cartridges alone, and how I shop for them. So many times over. Okay. So, and again, if you're in a small business, guys, or even your household, I only know 2 ways to improve the bottom line of any business. And that's cut expenses and increase income. And all this is a tool that allows you to attack that equation from both sides. So we jumped on board. And again, we started saving a ton of money right away. And I started referring it about 6 months into it. I had to get a lot of things off my plate to just clear up a few hours a week. Started putting in about 5 hours a week, and they had a simple, duplicatable system. And that's the other thing. If you're going to evaluate a company in this industry, really, more than anything, don't only evaluate the company and the product, the marketing plan, but it's almost as important as anything else is evaluate their system, because it's all about duplication. Okay. And so they had a simple system. Within a year, I'd referred it to 11 people, but they'd referred it to a couple hundred. I was making enough to buy a lake home at Lake of the Ozarks in something I've always wanted. I just never had the extra cash flow. It seemed like all my money was going back into my businesses or into my kids' education. My retirement accounts were way behind. So by the end of the second year, the income from this little part-time business, now I had already caught up with what I was taking home from my CPA practice. And that had taken me 20 plus years to build. And by the 4th year, this little part-time income was double all 6 traditional businesses. When you have that kind of income coming in, guys, it creates options. and I opted to actually for a lifestyle change. I opted to free up 40 to 50 hours of my time by selling my traditional businesses and come at home. And now I can work when I want to work. I do as many tax returns as I want to do. I'm actually subcontracting out just to help my nephew who used to work for me when I had my CPA practice. Now I'm helping him as he's bought into a new practice, helping him this year, doing a few returns. But, it's very mobile. I can do it from Arizona. I can do it from Florida. It's just amazing how, and guys, I know with this, I love the way you say creating freedom on here on the screen, Tom. That was the main thing I was looking for. I worked 70, 80 hours a week during tax season. My wife would take off with friends and go to Florida and leave me at home. Okay. And with the kids and coaching and everything else. Okay. I was, when you're working 70 or 80-hour weeks, you're robbing from your family, but I had no way out. I couldn't see a way out. And when I looked at this, that's what I saw is a way to eventually work my way out of that. And guys, anything that you look at, what you got to do is look at a system. Network marketing is one of the best ways in the world that I've seen for most people to afford to get time freedom. And Tom, I talked to you about this before we started. There was a book I read early on in my career by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Right. And in that book, he goes through what's called the income quadrant. And just imagine a plus sign on a piece of paper. Okay. And up in the upper left-hand corner of that plus sign is the 4 ways we make money. The one where most of us are taught to do is become an employee. Go look for a good job. Go get a good education. Get a good job with good benefit, safe and secure, right? Not so true anymore. Okay. Okay. But you're limiting. The problem is you're now limited to how much you can make based upon what somebody else is willing to pay you and how much time they're willing to have you work. Number 2, the other way, down on the left-hand bottom corner, is what happened to me. And I started with Deloitte. So I started in the upper left corner. Then I realized I wanted freedom. I wanted some time. I wanted flexibility. So I thought, you know what, I can do this myself. And I started my own practice. And yes, I had flexibility, but I could still, my income that I was making was tied to me again. Because how much time could I put in? Okay, so I had flexibility, but I still didn't have time freedom. And 95% of the people in this world spend their time on the left side of that quadrant, but they only own 5% of the wealth in this world. Now, let's talk about how do you get to the right side. The right side of the quadrant, right on that plus sign, top. And let's talk about the lower left, lower right, because a lot of people are already familiar with it. And that is investing. How do you get to get to the right side? What you're looking for is money coming in even when you're not working. And most people will do it through investing, okay, either in stock market, in mutual funds, in real estate. But all of it takes money. And the problem with that is most people don't have enough resources to get to where they really need to go and where they want to be. Okay. The other way to get over into that right side of the quadrant is to find a business, okay, that has a system that if you get the system working, the system, even when you're not working, the system will continue to work and money will still come in. And guys, most people think about when they look at it, they're talking about big business. Forbes refers to it as 500 employees or more. Okay. But if you look at franchises, there's other business models that work. Let's think of McDonald's franchise. Okay, it can create money even when you're even when you walk away. But how much does it cost to get into that franchise? Okay, right. Even Subways. Let's just say you had Subways. You'd probably have, if you just had one, you're just creating a JOB. Okay, because you're going to probably only make about 40,000. You need to have 5 or 6 of them before you can hire a district manager and you can walk away. Okay, the most affordable way to break into that right side of the quadrant. And remember, Only 5% of the people are over there on that side. But how much of the wealth in this country do they own? 95. 95%. So you guys, I don't care. I don't care if you get a look at what we're doing. You need to look at something. Okay. You need to figure out a way to move. Because definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Right.
Okay. And it took me, guys, it took me 20 years of looking to find this model, and diligently looking until I knew. Okay. And I found what I was looking for. And again, you need to find something with a good system so that you can walk away. And that's what happened to me by the end of year 2. Just kind of give you an idea of what the system did. I only referred this to 16 people in my first 2 years. But by the end of 2 years, there were 800 people in my organization. Okay, because it duplicated so well. It was simple, it was duplicatable, and people like to save money, and people like to make money. So what's their and plus they could promote their own business. I picked up 25,000 in new bookkeeping and tax work in the first 2 years through something we call the business exchange. It's just an unbelievable concept. But by the 4th year, the income allowed me to get what I was looking for, guys, and that was my time freedom. Gave me choice. I sold my businesses, freeing up the time, and came home. And it can do that for me. If it did it for me, it can do it for anybody. All you got to do is follow the same system and put in the time. I mean, guys, there's it's just like anything else. If you want to lose weight,
Right.
which I got on that in the last year and a half, I'd gotten to the heaviest weight I'd ever been in, and I realized, all right, I've got to find a system that I can plug into that I know works, because I can see other people, testimonies, okay, of other people
Right.
and what they'd done, and then all I had to do was go follow what they did, okay. And when I was doing it, work out hard, but I did. And within a year, guys, I've lost almost 50 pounds, and I look entirely different than I did a year ago. Well, it's the same thing here. A lot of people think there's that a business like this takes a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of time. I build it spending 5 to 7 hours a week. But in that 5 to 7 hours a week, I stayed focused on the main things, that the little tiny things. Just changed a couple daily habits, calling one person a day, okay, consistently, 5 days a week, to put them on a message to see if they were open for more information. That one little step seems easy to do, but what's easy to do is easy not to do. Okay. But by compounding that over a period of time and then teaching other people to do that, now I have an organization with over 15,000 people in it. And I've only made 90 referrals, guys. That's called duplication. Okay. And
Mike,
yeah.
Yeah, I know that what you're dumping some real valuable information here for consideration for people. You said most business, only 2 make it.
2.
And how long ago did you look at Team National? Like, when was that?
21 years ago.
Wow.
And this company just continues to get stronger and stronger. And again, that's one of the things I like about it, guys. Just use common sense. If this is a buying group, that's what we are. Our membership is saving people money, businesses and small and households. As the buying group grows and we get more members on board, what naturally do you think is going to happen to the buying power of the group?
You leverage that, get better deals.
Yeah,
Yep.
and as that goes, it's going to get better. And now, guys, you've seen it just in the last year when they added healthcare sharing, and oh my gosh, I'm saving people 50% or better on healthcare. Okay, I'm having fun helping my nephew with taxes. I'm doing it for a reason. I've already got 10 new names of business owners that are paying $16,000 to $18,000 to $20,000 a year on healthcare. And how much are they going to pay with us? About $6,000 to $7,000 max. Okay, so I can't wait to go start talking to these guys after tax season. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you can save people a ton of money. So anyway,
yeah. I know Mark's got some questions for you.
Yeah,
as well.
I do. So, Mike, when you saw this as an accountant, you know, like everybody, I kiddingly say this, I'm past the status, but you know, 20 some odd years ago, here you are, an accountant, and you're looking at this. What did you think it would be, a conflict of interest, or were you worried about what people might think or say? I mean, just because some people, you know, they want to make money, but they like that holds them back. It's like, hey, what are my clients going to think about me doing this now? And I'm just asking you that. I don't feel that way, but
well, I did. I got to be honest. I did, because again, you remember I was carrying baggage around. I was carrying baggage from a failure in network marketing. Okay, around, and that kind of that made it very difficult for me to get started, because I kept saying, well, I've tried it once before. It's not going to work. You know, it doesn't work for me. So I had to get past that. What I had to do is get belief. Okay. And how I did that is I went to one of their national events and I met the owners of the company face to face.
right.
Okay. And then I met several of the top money earners, and I realized, so I got that, man. And then I saw people walking across the stage that had not near the background or talent that I thought I had. So all of a sudden I started to realize, man, this thing works for people and it could work for me. And actually, at that event, I had an eye-opening experience. I actually prayed, said, God, give me a sign. Make sure it's a sign I can recognize. And I had a dream that night that I was selling my CPA practice. Okay. So
Wow.
to me, so I came home, but it was still leery about talking to my clients, because as a CPA, you know, we do have this independence thing. But guys, here's the thing. We have a product or service that's saving people money. So don't try to sell it. Okay. Don't try to sell what you have. Try to let them know what it can do and how it can help them. And that's what I did, is I just call them up and I just say, hey, I can't, I've been anxious to talk to you. I can't promise you anything, but I've run across something that's really working good for me and my business. I mean, I'm saving a ton of money and I'm making some pretty darn good money. Are you keeping your options open? Okay. And they said yes. And I said, hey, now I want to run something by you. I'm gonna have you listen to a message. Now, if it's not for you, it's okay. You can tell me no. Okay. And the more I told them they could tell me no, and that it was okay, the better I felt, but also the better they felt. The more they wanted to tell me yes. Okay. Yeah. So I again, and I didn't sell my once I showed them the business, to see, guys, if something's really good, it should sell itself, right? So
Right.
when I got done sharing the business with them, don't I'm going to make a recommendation to you. Don't keep selling what you're promoting. Sell you. Most people are buying you, okay? And so sell yourself, and the fact that you're going to do this with or without them. That's what my real estate agent did. She sold herself so well that I signed up 5 minutes after watching the presentation, because I knew that woman was going to go out, and you guys know Carolyn Brown. She's also one of the top people in the business. I knew she was going to go out and share this with people. I was right in the middle of tax season. I couldn't do anything, but I might as well take advantage of her. I locked my spot, and by the time I could get going, I already had 20 people underneath me in the way this is structured. Okay.
Wow.
But I get to count all those people. Those 20 have reverted to over 1,000 in 10 different states. So my point is, there's a couple myths. One, it's a pyramid. Okay. These are some objections you're going to hear over. Oh, this sounds like one of those pyramid things. I'll usually say, where do you work? Okay. I'll just ask them where they work, because where they work is more of a pyramid than this is. Because if you look at the organizational structure, I don't care what corporation you're talking about, and you start looking at it, the CEO is your top paid, right? Then you go down the presidents, vice presidents, upper management, all the way down to that entry level worker. And if you take that and you also put their compensation along all the way down, what's it look like?
A three-legged thing.
Yeah.
A pyramid. And does that entry level person that comes in today have the ability to pass up that CEO? And are they encouraged to come in and pass up that CEO?
No.
No.
No, they're not.
That's what that structure is. Ours is totally like an inverse pyramid. Everybody starts at the bottom, but everybody up above is reaching down saying, come on, pass me up. Pass me up. Let me help you. Okay. Totally different concept, and you can. I make more money than anybody above me, except for, you guys know Don Garrison. That's it.
Yep.
So all
Well,
the way up to
Mark
him.
hasn't met Don. I've been down to his home in Branson.
Yeah.
So
And
we got
I'm not
a
my own
few
horn,
messages here. Let's see what we got coming
We've
in.
got some people out here saying hello. So,
all right, good.
Diana, thanks for jumping in. She's part of our peeps. Robert. Yeah, he's in Canada.
Hey,
We're
hi,
a
Robert.
US-based only
Yeah.
company.
yeah. That's funny.
Good. I love it. I love it. Yeah. I've got quite a few people that one of my top people in my company, Robert, met his wife in Amway. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got Robert making another one. And guess who we got on here as well?
Oh, yeah, the man himself.
Eric Bam. So these are some of the people we're getting a lot of people following us tonight. But, Mark, I know you got some more questions. I've got some things I would like Mike to bring attention to.
Right.
Because this is all about to bring awareness to opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you make that value judgment? And I think there's something I would like to go ahead, Mark, and I'll let you ask. I'm sort of monitor who's jumping in here.
You talked about multiple revenue. We always say about multiple revenue streams, particularly what's happened today, Mike. I mean, we're getting out of the COVID thing, and businesses are kind of doing this. And you're an accountant, what would you tell somebody and I know you don't sell them on this, but what would you tell somebody thinking about doing this tonight? Like, hey, or doing anything of this caliber? Why is it important to generate additional revenue streams? Because you had multiple franchises, businesses, along with your accounting firm. So you were doing it. It's just you were strapped for time. So what would you share with somebody?
Well, first of all, you got to figure out where you're going. Okay. What do you want? Ask yourself this simple question. Where do you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years? Okay. And that's what I did with myself. Where do I want to be in 3 to 5 years? And if I keep doing what I'm doing, am I really going to get there? What other potential is it possible? And in my case, I was still going to be working 60, 70-hour weeks.
Right.
I didn't see it. That meant that I needed to find another mechanism to help me get there. I had to realize that I needed something else in order to get there. And so that's one of the reasons why I kept looking and trying to find a model that would fit. And that's why I own 4 franchises, guys. I told you franchises were a potential of getting me to where I wanted to go, but the franchise I own, their system wasn't working, wasn't duplicating freedom. Okay. I had 140 headaches, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So what you want to look for is, if you got to figure out what you want, and then you got to realize, to me, I had to realize, all right, I needed to change. And here's what I saw. When I saw this business model, you want to try and find something that might enhance what's already on your plate. I mean, if you can find something that actually dovetails and is more like an add-on revenue stream,
right,
to what you're already doing, and it can enhance, that's a plus. Or if you can find something that's so strong, it knocks something off your plate. Okay. And that's what I saw here. I saw something, and it's a real simple question, guys. In your Rolodex, how many people do you know that like to save money, get their best deal? That was everybody. Okay. Right. And second of all, how many people in your Rolodex are business owners that would love to find a way to get more customers to come into their business? Because that's one of the things we do as well. Okay. And so, and then I think one of the biggest problems in America today is the lack of retirement savings. Who do you know that's behind in the retirement would love to figure out a way to get back on track. See, by my end of my second year, by the end of my first year, this was generating 40,000 a month already, or 40,000 a year. Okay. 4,000 a month. That's equivalent to putting a million two away in retirement accounts. What I was going to struggle to do in 20 years, I didn't want with a different mechanism. Okay. Because see, with the other mechanism, it was based on the amount of money I could put away.
Right.
This one was based on the amount of time. And other people's time is unlimited. It's an unlimited resource.
Yeah, that's an important, Mark,
Thank
if you
you.
got something else,
No, that was great, man. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, this being a financial planner and myself a financial coach coming from the financial service industry for nearly 20 years, only about 10 or 11% of the American people are going to be able to retire the way they dreamt it.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the people are going to have to be maybe hosting at the Walmart or something, So,
I think they've done away with that position.
Yeah, they have because of COVID. Yeah.
I was looking forward to that. I'm kidding.
But in a serious note, that's a tragedy in America today.
It is.
That people don't understand the concept of money. And the thing that got me so excited, Mike, and I want to plant the seed out there with other people, not just the business operator. That's if a person is looking for a solution to free up time, increase their income, this is a great avenue, utilizing this type of model. But I believe Team National offers something totally different because it's not product based.
Right.
It's solving people's problems on their money side right up front.
Right.
And I shared this with some of my clients. If you were able to save $1,000 a month, or even $1,000 a month, or $1,000 a year, some people are saving $1,000 a month, right, Mike?
Right.
That's a game changer for their financial future. Would you agree?
Right. Yeah, especially now if they take that savings and they take it and they take even 75% of it, $750 a month, and they stick it into retirement accounts over 20 years. What's that going to turn into? That's even without going out and referring it to people. Okay. That's what I like about this, is that we can attack the retirement from two angles again. If we save money, traditional financial planning, guys, and you guys are aware of it, is we try to find a way to help people decrease their expenses so we can free up money to put into their to the retirement accounts. And I always felt like I was kind of on the negative side. I was always trying to make them live like a pauper. Okay, so a mediocre life right now, so they could have a mediocre retirement down the line. Okay, and what I found here is I can, with this revenue stream, is I help them build that 40,000 a year. They can spend it. They can have fun with it. They don't have to put it all in retirement. They can do other things, like we bought the lake home. Okay, and the boat and the wave runner and the house payment were all paid through the revenue stream from this retirement stream of income. So pretty amazing.
Yeah. So Mike, my whole point is that if you have a business that helps people solve some major problems, most people are facing these money problems, and COVID brought it even to a higher level of awareness. So that's what I love about being a financial coach and sharing this out, is you're just helping people. What a great business. And just giving them a solution. And Eric made a comment here. How can I save money? I never say this. How much can I help you not spend? That's real. But people are going to spend money anyway on things they need. If you can save money, it's a win-win-win. So, and like I share with my clients, if you can go out and save that type of money, don't turn around and spend it on more junk, because you'll be as broke as you are today. Have a strategy. If you're not going to have a strategy with your money, put it to work for you.
Well, I do like Eric's comment, though, because I think there's a lot of people that need to change their mindset.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay? That are just spend. Okay. That need to reel it in from both ends. Mm-hmm.
Mike, this is something that really intrigued me. There's a lot of businesses out there. If you wanted to start a business, you're going to put, even a lawn care business. You got $100,000 in equipment before you even got the first lawn to mow, right?
Right.
Trucks, trailers, lawnmowers, all that type of stuff. And will it create a legacy? Will it create an asset that is sellable to your family? Share with a little bit about the principle that Team National's done, not only the business model and what we're doing in the marketplace, but the benefit of having your own business that is, number one, you can create a legacy with, it's willable, and is it sellable?
Yeah, and I get kind of emotional on this one because that's what has happened for us is that not only, you know, I originally started out trying to figure out how I could get out of my CPA practice because I was just tired of working so hard. But I soon found out that I could not only create a legacy for my family, I could create a security blanket. So that's what happened for us is with this kind of business and very little capital again. I mean, this cost me less. My last two businesses cost me $500,000 just to open the gosh darn doors to get started between the restaurants and the inventory for the fabric store, right? And the build outs. Here, $21.95 was what I spent. Okay. And 21 years ago, the cost of one computer in my CPA practice. Okay. And yet this is turned into multiple six-figure income. Okay. But now what I liked about it is, again, you can build this up into a residual income stream and it has a value to it. You can sell it. Okay, but why would I want to sell it? Okay, because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. It's willable, so I can pass this on to my wife. Okay, and then when she passes away, it's going into trust to our two boys. Okay, so that it'll go on so you can build something that you can actually leave for your kids. Unlike my CPA practice. Okay, whoever I wanted to sell it to would have to be licensed. And my kids saw how hard I worked for the money I made. Neither one of them wanted to be a CPA.
CPA,
okay.
Yeah.
No, they didn't want to be one. But again, you can build this up into an asset that is sellable. It's willable. And the other thing is, with our company, they've done something that I've never seen in this industry. And again, I'd looked at companies, at least 23 other companies over my career. Is something called child ratcheting. They allow you to take your kid, even though whenever they're ready to start doing this, let's say they're only 5 years old when you sign up. Okay. In most network marketing companies, when they turn 18, they can do the business. You start them clear down at the bottom of the team. In ours, you can put them clear at the top of one of your teams. So not only can I build a legacy for me that I can, with my business, I can pass on, but my children can build their own business with my help, clear at the top of one of my teams. It's unbelievable. The kind of the family feel that they've built to this. Okay.
This is a joke, but it's true. Eric Bam said, there it is. This guy is smart and clearly the best looking guy in the show. So that's a compliment to you.
Yeah.
Well, Tom and I just
he blind?
get the hell out of the way here, Mike. And
that's funny.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, I like you already, Eric.
Eric is, yes, we've had Eric. He was our first guest, and he's a vice president. Matter of fact, Mike, Mark, tell Mike what Eric does. This is
pizza crust liners.
Oh.
You know, so he understands when you're talking about the pizza biz. I mean, he definitely understands that concept. And I'm in a mastermind with Eric, so he's pretty unique individual. He definitely makes you think. So yeah, thanks again, Eric. So now I don't know.
I like pizzas. I ate too much of my pizza. That's why I had to do the exercise routine.
Yeah. So
he's promoting. So we'll let him promote here. That's
there
great.
He is. Perfect crust. There he goes. And that's okay, Eric.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you make gluten free?
Go ahead. Did you have something, Mark?
The other thing I was going to ask you real quick, did you, and if people want to know this, did you struggle with this as you were building it? I mean,
yeah. There's yes, I did. I had a lot of issues that I had to get through. Probably the hardest one to overcome was my lack of belief in myself. Okay, because of the past experience. But thank God they talked to me about personal growth. Okay, and to me, the personal growth aspect has been what got me to the top. Okay, because without without investing in myself, Jim Rohn says, work on yourself harder than you work on your job. And there's so much truth to that.
Sure.
And there's a couple key things that I listen to that I'd love to pass on, okay, to the group. And okay, one of the first things, first at that first national event where I went to, two people in two different parts of the weekend mentioned something that had changed their life, and that is a tape by Earl Nightingale.
He froze.
Called The Strangest Secret. I encourage you to go to YouTube. Go. Oh, did I freeze? Okay, I'm playing with my grandkids. Freeze. Okay.
It's probably cold there in Iowa. Yeah.
Yeah. So, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, and you can go to YouTube and just search Strangest Secret Earl Nightingale and pull up. Make sure you pick up the 5758 version, black and white, and listen to it many times over, guys, because you are the Strangest Secret's real simple. You are what you think about most of the time. Okay, so what we think controls our life, and when you understand that, and you understand you can control what you think, you can change your life. Okay, and so that was very powerful. There's another book that has profoundly affected me, and it's called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. That book probably did more than anything. Okay. It brought me to my knees a couple times and made me, and I liked it so much that, guys, every time I start a new person in my team, it's a book that I make sure they read. Okay. I even have it out on my Google Drive now so that they can listen to it audio wise. Okay. But yeah, it's a great book as well. And guys, out of college, I didn't want to read anymore. I was tired, but got to understand, they didn't say I had to like to read. These people were telling me I needed to read. Okay. I needed to read if I wanted to get to the top. I had to make that part of my life. So I started reading 10 pages a day. Doesn't seem like a lot, but if you read 10 pages a day, that's over 3,650 pages a year. That's several books. You'll be amazed at how much different you'll be. And then I started listening to CDs, and right now I get up, and it's so easy to find good material. I get up and do YouTube while I'm shaving. I pull up a YouTube motivational video and listen to it. Okay, so I still do it today.
Yep.
That's such an important thing, Mike. Myself being a personal development is what's getting in our way, and it's our thinking, our belief systems. And when we can identify what it is and how to control that, and that's through awareness. That's only through awareness and then application. Nothing happens. It's a good idea reading a book until you take the information, put it in action. It's just good feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that advice for anybody that's out there in any business or anything you're doing in life, is study people that are successful. And Mike, I appreciate you being here because you're an example of success, not just in business, but as the type of individual you are, and inspiration in that. So I've only known you less than a year now, and it's an honor to know you. And I'm holding on to your tail. I'm running many different things. I'm that MSI guy, and I see what it's going to be doing for myself, my family, and colleagues and our clients out there. And I'll let Mark jump in here as well. So,
well, you just proved something to me again, Mike, that anybody that's been successful in business, and I'm not talking about average, I call it the Tom Brady factor. People, like, I sell corporate training, sales training. No one likes to train. Even Muhammad Ali hated to train, but he knew he had to train. And what I'm talking about is the things you do daily, like reading, writing, engaging with other people, putting things down on paper, establishing goals, objectives, things that you want to do. And what Tom's talking about is our mind gets in the way of that. We think we overthink it. And, I try and read, and I do. I read every day. And if you're doing it and everybody else I know that's successful is doing it, there's got to be something to it, and anybody in any industry, even outside of this, I look at what they do. There's habits, and they establish those habits and they stick with it.
One last book, and that because it goes along with what you're just talking about, because it's all good to read, but if you don't change a couple daily habits, okay, and what you do and compound those over time, okay, you're still not going to get to where you want to be in 2 years. There's a book called The Compound Effect by God, now all of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. It'll come to me. Senior moment. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Editor used to editor at Success Magazine. But Compound Effect is a great book, and it talks about you're either changing a couple daily habits compounded over time is what will get you there. It's not magic pixie dust getting thrown on you to make a change. It's changing a couple daily habits. And so what you're doing every day is either compounding towards your goal, or guess what? What you're not doing is compounding away from your goal, going the other way.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a matter of change it, and it's simple. What's easy to do is easy not to do. We live in this instant gratification world. Okay. And so people give up too quick. They don't let the compounding effect concept kick in.
Mike, one of the things I like to do is those that are here are going to be seeing this in a future replays and that type of thing, is to find out more how they can do that, and really find out about who Team National is, what we do in the marketplace. I call it value proposition. If you're going to have a business, you got to feel a market need. You got to feel good about it. Is it just a fad? Saving money has never been a fad and will never be a fad, right? It'll always be there. So how can, besides reaching out to you directly or marketing, we're all associated together. We're in this thing called Team National together. So it's a win-win-win for those that don't have to worry about who should I call, Mike, or should I call Mark, or should I call Tom, or whatever. But how can people learn more about what we do? What would you recommend?
Well, I'll be doing a Zoom meeting Thursday night at 7:00, okay, and 8:00 Eastern, 7:00 Central Time, and would love to have them join. It's about a 40-minute long presentation where I go through the all aspects of the company, the value proposition, saving money, and then the income proposition, the referral program, and we'll hear from several other people. It's a team approach, so it'll give you a good basic understanding of what this company's all about. Again,
Darren Hardy.
It's thank you, Darren Hardy.
Darren Hardy,
thank you. Yep,
that was Diana.
Diana, thank you. And she knows. Senior moment, dear. Yeah, I love her. She's awesome. And so anyway, guys, Thursday night, 7:00. You can get the Zoom link from Tom or Mark. Okay, and would love to have you on there.
Yeah, just reach out to us, email Mark or myself. We'll get you the invitation link. Or if you can't make it on Thursday night, we'd be glad to schedule something with you. To learn a little bit more about Team National, you can go to this link here. I created this tonight. It's a little overview about what we do. My contact information is there. You can reach out to us and get your questions answered. Opportunities are around us all the time. If you're looking, we'd sure like to have that opportunity to share it with you in that area. So, Mike, any parting thoughts before we're wrapping up? I know you got another meeting to get to here in a few minutes, so I appreciate all your time.
Nope. I tell you what, my only parting comment is, if you want to change your life, you need to change something. Okay. And who knows, maybe Team National's it, but you won't know until you take a look. Okay. Doesn't cost to look, but it can cost you a lot not to look. Okay.
That's a
We're not,
guarantee.
mhm, yep. Yep. So hopefully we'll see you there Thursday.
You got it. I'm going to put you in the back room. Hold in, enjoy the M&Ms, Mike, and we're going to
Yeah.
part out here, do our closing video, and we're done. So hold on tight. Well, Mark, I really appreciated Mike coming on.
Oh,
And
no. He is, like I said, I would have to give him, since I'm from Peachtree Corners, Georgia, I'm kiddingly saying this, but I do mean it sincerely. He gets over a 5+ Peach rating because, you know, he shared with us his why, he shared with us his struggle, and then he shared with how he implements, you know, his process and what he does daily. And that kind of motivated me to the nth degree, because here's another guy that's reading, writing, and implementing, you know, on a daily basis. And like you always say this: success leads clues. You always say that, and Mike is a prime time example of that. Great guy.
yeah, well, with a lot of gratitude, I think, Mike, Mark, I'm so grateful to have you part of our Elevate Your Profits. And it's all about for starting from the mind. We're going to be bringing people in from all walks of life and business, coaches, people that can understand the thinking process of success, processes and opportunities. We'll be bringing a lot of people in. So I'm so grateful for that. So in parting thoughts, it was fun. Mike, I appreciate it that you were on. Anything else, Mark?
Just thanking everybody for joining us this evening, and feel free to even share it, you know, after we're done. And, you know, just want to say thanks so much for being here and having Mike, man. It was a lot of blast learning more about him.
You got it.
Speaker.
All right. Well, Mark, I'm going to put us all in the back room, and we're going to sign out. Tag and share this information.